Hi there, hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about the best basketball shoes for dusty courts. Based on my experience, these are currently the top choices if you usually play on dusty courts. Not all of us get to play on clean and well-maintained courts all the time. My usual gym's got a very dusty floor, and most of the times this is already the hardest test to see if the traction performance is up to the challenge. Because chances are, if it grips well on dust, it'll do just fine on cleaner courts too. We're all about basketball shoes from all different brands here on this channel. So if you enjoy this type of sneaker content, please do me a favor by dropping a like. Also consider subscribing if you haven't. A big majority of the people watching are still not subbed from what I can see. I would greatly appreciate it if you do. Last time I said this, y'all really did step it up, and thank you for that. Anyways, I basically picked out a top 5. I can say with great confidence that all of these ones have top tier traction, guaranteed. Some are just insanely good on any court condition. Some just really don't pick up dust. I also include which shoes or which types of outsoles to avoid for dusty courts towards the end. Also some honorable mentions because there are quite a few great options. Let's get right into it. Starting off the list, this is easily the first shoe that comes to mind when I think about best traction. It works perfectly fine on dusty courts. I would even say the top traction 2023. I usually bring it as a safe backup in my bag in case the newer pair sucks. And that is the AG4 from 361 Degrees. I mean, the way this also grips is just on another level. First of all, they're very loud and squeaky. If you only trust the squeak, they'll let you hear it. Yeah, I've played in these on so many occasions. Different types of courts, I got the same consistent traction every time. Like, there were times when some decent shoes couldn't even get the job done for me. I think the Curry Spawn Floatrol got me sliding in them a little bit once on a dusty court. And there were people walking around with their street shoes after a snowy day here. It was really annoying. But when I put the AG4 on, that was a wrap. A whole different experience. It's so grippy. Aside from the elite stop you get, the AG4 has nice cushion too. Pretty bouncy on feet. Cheap materials, but it is priced at only $100 USD. So the overall package you get is well worth the price you pay for. Performance on dust has a lot to do with it, but it is such a great option that really surprised me, honestly. Next up, this is also on the AG4 level, also budget friendly, and that is the GT Cut Academy. Nike does have a lot of shoes that perform really well on dusty courts, but to pick the best one out of them, I go GT Cut Academy. If we were to compare it against the big brother, the GT Cut 3, they also picked up less dust. Lateral movements, backpedaling on defense, doing a step back, pull up, this is always ready for action. Both shoes can get you to a hard stop just fine, but the GT Cut 3, you would probably need to wipe off the dust on there a little more frequently, whereas the Academy is good to go at all times. This likely has something to do with the type of rubber used, because I think all GT Cut 3 so far come in a translucent outsole, but all Academies are solid rubber. So even though they look similar from the bottom, traction pattern, design and stuff, in this aspect alone, I go with the budget version for the best grip. Another shoe that's heavily in my rotation as of now is the Li-Ning Liren 4 or Sharp Edge 4. That's the English name, I believe. These guys also outperform most other shoes on very dusty courts. Here I do want to mention the low top, the Liren 4 V2 as well. Both versions have excellent traction. I happen to get the regular version in a solid rubber outsole, low top in a translucent outsole. If you prefer to hear that crispy and loud squeak every time down the floor, go with the colorways that have a solid rubber outsole. Translucent means zero squeak. Silent but effective. My Liren 4 V2 can also make it here because they really don't pick up dust. I was almost shocked by how clean the outsole stayed after I played with these on my usual court with dust flying around. My local YMCA court, kinda dusty too. On another fairly clean court, they were obviously top notch. And this is how they look after I brought them on an outdoor court twice. So Liren 4 and Liren 4 V2, nothing to worry about with their traction on dust. The next one is a pretty interesting one. They're named after a foam, but as they turn out on the court, traction performance is still the highlight, and that is the Fresh Foam BB V2 from New Balance. Similar to the previous version and their 2AV3, it has like a suction cup pattern, and that thing just sticks to the floor. It was biting consistently well, extremely squeaky. Dust does accumulate over time, but to my surprise, it was fairly easy to wipe off, because I'd imagined that dust can get trapped in between the little hexagons, but that was not really the case. This one is very fun to use, again, largely due to the strong grip you get, but cushion and bounciness are way up there too. You get good impact protection, nice material quality. Fresh Foam BB V2, I guess, is the dark horse pick on this list, because you probably think about cushion as its selling point, but traction is more than solid. Maybe its best part. From Adidas, you might not have thought about this, but the Hardens have excellent traction. Very safe option for dusty courts. The Volume 6 and Volume 7 also did pretty well for me, but the Volume 8 might even be more elite. It really has a crispy type of squeak. Not super loud, but you do hear it every time. So consistency is key here with the Hardens. They put some herringbone and the 2 circular pods onto the forefoot area, the most important area that determines the traction performance. I really enjoy playing in these on dusty courts. The only thing is the upper gets dirty very easily, so that might stop you from using it on dirty floors. But hey, all shoes are meant to be worn, right? Adding the full length jet boost, bounciness, great step-in comfort with the stretchy soft collar, also the unique design. Harden Volume 8 is one of the best shoes you can get on the market right now. Just a little heavy, and the foam carrier part does feel kind of cheap. So that was sort of like my top 5 right now. Again, your options are definitely not limited to these 5. If you go back just a little bit earlier in time, the Nike Zoom Freak 5 has amazing traction on dusty courts. It kind of has that smear traction thing they did on the GT Cut 2, but performs much better. LeBron's Ja 1, these are pretty safe options too from Nike, probably on sale as we speak. The AR1 from Rigor, the Austin Reeves shoe, traction is definitely the best part about it. Same level as these ones. I just didn't like anything else on it. AE1 traction is nice too. 808-3, the regular version, same level of traction performance. Crazy hard stop. Shockwave 5 and Shockwave 5 Pro, that also really stays immaculate anywhere I go. So I didn't even have to wipe much. On the other hand, shoes that you want to avoid or not use on dusty courts, Adi Zero Select 2.0, that one loses its magic real quick once dust accumulates. Any of the Skechers basketball shoes that came out, man, that traction is non-existent. I feel slippery sometimes, even just walking in them casually. But the rubber is super durable and they're super comfy, so they at least make a decent outdoor option. Now, translucent outsoles in general, I'd say can be iffy against dust. Some examples would be the Big 3 Future from 361 Degrees, the Jokic shoe, not nearly as effective as their AG4 in getting you to a hard stop. The 808 series from Way of Wade, like the 808-2 Ultra Oxygen colorway, man, I remember it was so bad that I thought it was pretty dangerous to play in that translucent outsole. Chinese brands and their translucent outsoles in general, typically not worth the risk. If you want to play it safe, just go with their solid rubber versions. Even the GT Cut 3 that we talked about, it's not bad, but I think solid rubber would have made it better. Would have made it unstoppable actually. But on Puma basketball shoes, this is the other way around. Their translucent outsoles consistently outperform solid rubber outsoles. Here we gotta mention the Pro Nitro, which to me is their best shoe overall. Pro Nitro with the translucent outsole could have been on this list, should have been on this list. Pro Nitro in the solid rubber outsole, slightly below average. There's a pretty big gap in their performance. Like your experience would go from an S tier to a B or C tier in the matter of a different colorway. So please keep that in mind. Okay, so that was all for this video on the best basketball shoes for dusty courts. Hopefully this helps a little bit when you're considering which shoes to get or which shoes to not use if you're like me who spend most of the times playing on dusty floors. Please feel free to add to the list with shoes that work really well for you down in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.